You're listening to Talk of the Town, the official podcast of the Petal Area Chamber of Commerce, where we highlight local businesses, community leaders, and the stories that shape our city.
Yeah, I had like this little tiny car, and I would go to Lowe's and I would buy 40 pieces of lumber, and they'd be like, "Why are you buying 40?" I was like, "Because that's how much I can shove in the trunk to get back to Roadhouse," because I was renovating it myself. When they were like, "Hey, you need to get to the kitchen," I was like, I looked around, there's not a lot of people in there. I'm like, "I'll get there in a minute," And then they'd come back and they said, "No, you need to get to the kitchen now." By the time I had gotten back there, an entire piece of equipment was engulfed in flames. And I hit my knees in the parking lot. I'm just squalling, and there's no one there. And I just looked up at God and I was like, "Thank you." I needed a break.
Hey, Jessie Carter.
Hey.
Welcome to Talk of the Town with the Petal Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to just share a little bit about your journey, Jessie. Who is Jessie Carter, and how the heck did you end up owning a restaurant and a hotel?
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Crazy.
Well, I'm originally from Roadhouse, which is right outside of Petal. But I actually, COVID happened, and that kind of flipped the script for a lot of people in life. And I was living in New York City at the time, so they shut the city down. Of course, my southern mama was like, "Get your butt back here now." So I got back here.
So you came home due to COVID?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I came home due to COVID. And then, everybody's kind of sitting on their couch doing TikTok dances. And my mom, I remember sitting in the kitchen, she was like, "You should get your real estate license." And I was like, okay, maybe. So I actually got my license in Mississippi during that time that everybody was shut down. And I was doing real estate around the area, and I fell in love with commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit less emotional than residential. I feel like people, it's just such a process with residential, whereas commercials, black and white, it's either profiting or it's not, and it felt more of New York to me, the part of being away from the city. So I really liked that. So got into commercial, and then I landed on, Wagon Wheel to put it on the market. I put it under contract a few times.
So you were the realtor for Wagon Wheel. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so it got to the point where I was so attached to it that I was like, "No, you get a restaurant and you call it Roadhouse. I know this area. I'm from right down the road. This is what you do." And they're like, "Well, why don't you just do it and then we'll buy it and you can run it?" I was like, "No, why wouldn't I just buy it?" And they're like, "Well, it seems like you should." And I was like, "Man, okay." So I ended up buying it, and then I was and I started
What have I done?
Yeah, I was yeah, it was wild. I had $0 to my name when I bought it, and because I had sold my house and put everything into it. Mm-hmm. I had a house on Macedonia, and I just renovated that, and I was kind of getting a little settled, so I had to put up everything for it, and I did.
All your chips on the table.
Oh yeah, I had this little tiny car, and I would go to Lowe's and I would buy 40 pieces of lumber, and they'd be like, "Why are you buying 40?" I was like, "Because that's how much I can shove in the trunk to get back to Roadhouse," because I was renovating it myself.
Wow.
So, because when you start out with nothing, you're kind of
can't
make a little and you put back into it. Yeah. So I did most of it myself, and I'd have people come in there and they'd be like, "Hey, it's $20,000 for the flooring or whatever," and I'd be like, "Well, can't do that." So I'd watch YouTube, and I did all the flooring, all the woodwork. I built the furniture myself, and just other things, painting. Learned how to sheetrock, tile.
You floated sheetrock?
I did. I did a terrible job, but it's the parts that you don't see.
That is the hardest thing to do.
Then I let somebody else do the front of house, the front, so because it looks pretty bad.
Next time I'm there, I want to see the sheetrock you floated.
Oh, girl, that burned. That's out. We got new sheetrock.
That's right.
I renovated that thing maybe twice, 3 times.
That's right.
It keeps going. So I was renovating all of this, and I was just I did have to say many times the first year, I was like, "What is going on? How was I 2 years ago living in New York? Now I'm covered in paint. I have black under my fingernails constantly. I'm running to Lowe's maybe 3 times a day, just trying to make ends meet." And it was just kind of well, God put this in my heart, so I'm going to keep going and keep going. And then I just was probably the second year I started seeing the momentum of the place, because I have the hotel too. I had to renovate that as well, and I had to take that back to the studs. So that's a completely new hotel.
Wow. How long was the process from purchasing to opening the first time?
The restaurant? Mm-hmm. I purchased it in March and I opened it in July. But I was selling.
You did that quick.
I was selling food out of my car to anyone that would buy it.
Stop.
For like 2 months. Oh, girl, I was running
What?
I was making no sense.
Hustling.
But I was trying to get people to understand that I was like really serious. So I think it's really important, like as a person and a business owner, to like really establish, just like be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be like, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
People really support you when they realize like how passionate you are about something. Because it's like, even if the food is kind of bad, I think she's going to figure it out. I think she won't stop talking about it,
You establish trust.
Well,
it's
and
important.
Also, the most successful people I've ever met in life have that one characteristic where they can be really bad at something, but they never quit. And you're like,
until they're really good.
I'm not leaving this room until this works, And it works every single time. That's the one characteristic that some of the most brilliant and successful people I ever met in New York, LA, London, is that they just had this grit about them that they were like, it's probably going to fail first few times, whatever you're doing. But if you just keep at it and you're the last one in the room, it's going to work. I think it's Denzel that has a really good quote that's like, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you'll get your hair cut. Have you heard that?
Wow. No, but that's
same thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So
I like that. So did the restaurant and the hotel open at the same time? Or did you get one going and then get the other going?
The hotel was open when I bought it.
Okay, it was operating. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was operating, but it was a lot of the old kind of style, and I'm trying to tread lightly here, but it was just there was a lot going on up there. Dated,
a lot going on.
Yeah,
say it, girl.
No. So I whenever I bought it, I kept whatever was going on up there until I could get up there. But it wasn't probably about 8 months after the restaurant I had focused on that. But I bought the entire place in March and then officially opened up the restaurant in July.
Okay. We're going to pause there on Roadhouse because you keep referencing New York. You keep referencing the time period before. So we're going to jump backwards a little bit. Share a little bit about your journey to New York. I mean, we know how you got back home, but how'd you go there?
To New York?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was
so you graduated from
Perry Central,
and you knew you were going to hit the road.
Yeah, I was going somewhere. I was Miss Mississippi teen at the time, and my reign was coming to an end, and I went to it was Titus Hines was the principal at the time, and he was like a real big pageant guy
at Perry Central.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, so I have to ask a favor, and he was like, yeah, of course. I was like, my senior year, I want to graduate like 6 months early because I got this modeling contract, and I really want to go do it. And he was like, okay, well, if you do that, and at the time, I think it was like we had what do they call it? It's like blocks. You changed up classes like the next whatever year, like the next January through May. So technically, I could double down and finish all of it in August.
in one semester.
So he did. He let me do that. I worked really hard. Finished high school 6 months early. Went to LA. Signed a modeling contract. Started getting to film and television. But no one was really taking me seriously out there because they were like, "Oh, we really want you to be the girl in the bikini getting out of the hot tub." And I was like, "No, I want to be taken seriously." And they were like, yes, so no, we don't, that's not going to work for us. And I was like, okay. So then I Googled where to go for school so I could learn, because obviously I didn't want that type of career. And it was like Juilliard and NYU Tisch were the greatest acting schools in the world. And so I was like, okay, well then I'll go audition there. I'm obviously clueless. I was raised in Ronaldstown.
But you were fearless.
You can say that. Yeah.
Or delusional.
Delusional is really a big part of it. But yeah.
Hey, all successful people have a little bit of delusion.
I had a lot of it. So I go to this audition and it was 21,000 people about that. There was a long line.
For NYU?
Yeah. And I was like, I had sat there in line for so long that I kind of was like, you know what, let's just, whatever. Everybody's like doing monologues from Shakespeare, and because they're all huge theater, like this is their dream school.
They've been studying their whole life for this one audition.
Oh, yeah. I had a monologue that I found off Google of a girl who ate a bag of weed and got pulled over by the cops because I thought it was funny. And, oh, my gosh, you
cannot make this up.
No, it was.
You need to write a book.
I did it, and all the judges, they were like sitting there, and they were just quiet, and they all looked down. And I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like so embarrassed. I was like, is that all? And they were like, where are you from? And I was like,
Ronaldstown, Mississippi.
Ronaldstown. And I was like, you don't even have to Google it because it's really not even going to show up on Google and stuff. And they're like, okay. They're like, why are you here? And I was like, honestly, if you guys could just help me out, I'm just trying not to go back to like Ronaldstown for a while. If y'all could just help me get to NYU, because like I heard that's a really good school and I really don't know anything, but I'm like, I'll do anything. And they're like, okay. They're like, where did you find that monologue? And I was like, on Google. And I was like, did you guys like hate it? And they were like, no, we loved it. And I was like, stop. Okay.
This isn't a movie.
So I left.
This is a movie scene.
I called my mom. I was like, man, I didn't get it. But, you know, it's like a learning curve. And she was like, okay, well, you know, just like let me know whatever's going on.
Meanwhile, your mom's probably counting the days for you to call and say you're coming
back.
Well,
I did. I left. I'm sorry, I don't mean to screw, but yeah, I left LA and I was like, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to do whatever. So I went to Jones during that time and I was doing online school for, I think it was like six months or something, because there was about a year in between me leaving Perry Central and going to Tisch. So I had about a year in between then. So it was about, I think it was May of that following year that they called me and they were
from the audition?
No, I mean, like I graduated, you know, high school.
Gotcha.
And everything, walked with that. And then I went to LA what would be my first semester in college. And then the second semester is when I auditioned for NYU. So whenever that happened and I had gone back to Jones and I was like doing online school, going to Nashville, doing music videos, and I was doing commercials here and there, all regional things. There was one big music video, country music video that I did.
What was it?
It was, oh gosh, you got me.
I know I did.
Danielle Bradbury.
I remember her. She won American
Voice or something.
The Voice.
Yeah. So her first big video I did for her. And it was fun and I loved it and everything. And then I did like a regional movie it was like a background work for Get On Up with Tate Taylor was the director, Chadwick Boseman, and that was really cool. I met Dan Aykroyd. So that was some really cool work. But it like fed my love for film and TV.
Your delusion?
Yeah. So I was obsessed. And so then when they called and they said, no, they didn't call. They gave me an email. I was in my closet and I was like doing something. I read the email. And it was like, you've been accepted to NYU Tisch.
Stop.
I was like, wait, that means that like I got in.
And I have to go.
I call my mom. I'm like, hey, I think I got into NYU Tisch. She was like, really? She was like, forward me the email first before you call anybody else. So I emailed it to her and she goes, oh my God, you really got in. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? And I was like, this is cool. That means I'm going to New York, right? Yes, it was
So you went?
Oh, I went up the next week.
No
she was
job,
so mad at me.
no.
I sold my car, sold my clothes.
Public transportation?
I couch surfed for the next month, cried out in front of a restaurant until they gave me a job.
Stop.
Yeah, the only history that I had in a restaurant was working at the old Wagon Wheel restaurant.
Oh, you worked there?
As a dishwasher, but like...
Wow.
But yeah, that's all I had. And it was
closed. So someone
down.
gave you a job in New York?
Well, yeah, because I wouldn't leave. I was crying out front, the thing. So I was like, I'll do anything. Just give me a job. I went to like 6 different restaurants and they were all like, no. I was like, come on, y'all. Like, what's going on? I'm like, literally.
Good help is hard to find. I'm telling you, I will be a loyal, devoted employee. So then I got
my first apartment in August and then started a school in September.
4 years?
Yeah.
And graduated?
Yep. Graduated my BFA.
What year was that?
2017.
So you graduated, and there was several years after that before you came back.
Yeah, so that's when the work started. And NYU was the hardest, by far, the hardest years I've ever been through as far as academically and just the hours. They were like a very serious school. So obviously, because they're great, but that took a lot out of me. I wanted to quit a lot of times up there, but it was a good learning experience for me. I knew no one up there, so I had to build a whole new life, which was also great for me because this is all I ever knew was a small town. And so I did Miss New York, got first runner up. I remember showing up for that, and I was like, there was like 6 buses full of women. I was like, do y'all have like a convention here this weekend? They're like, no, it's the Miss New York pageant, and there's 310 girls in it. And I was like, my gosh.
You were one of them?
I was one of them. I got first runner up for that, and I kind of hung up my hat with pageants after that.
Wow.
I was just I was like ready to.
It's a good one to hang your hat on, sister.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really big production. It was really cool, and it was Miss New York,
Yeah.
So then I already had a state title before with Mississippi, so I was ready to kind of hang that up. And then after that, I went full throttle film and television. So that was pretty cool.
The one I remember the most is Law and Order.
Mm-hmm. SVU.
There were several more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's just the one I remember the most.
Yep.
Um,
That one was fun.
you were the, what was your part in that episode? I can't remember.
I starred as Anne
You were a
Davenport.
young girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I starred as Anne Davenport, and she was a young girl that goes to the city for the first time and has an incident with her church group, and Detective Benson comes in and it's like,
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
That's a big part. That was a great role. I remember watching it and I remember thinking, we don't know each other very well, but I'm very proud of her. I know her. That's awesome. Are there any other highlights from those years, parts that you did that you want to share?
I did. It was funny because I went from like a church going, small town girl to the next week I had a nose ring and blue hair.
Stop.
Yeah, and I was like a chef, a total wreck. I had tattoos. That one was fun. And then the next week after that, I was like auditioning for like a young Wonder Woman, and it was like a bunch of fun work. And then I want to say like a year later, COVID happened. So what would have been a really young, when you're starting out like that,
And you had no intentions of coming back.
No.
COVID like just shut it down.
The entire film industry, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, no one could film that's why a lot of TV shows and everything, I mean, it really hurt the film industry. It really made the whole industry move from LA and New York into other parts of the country that weren't so, based on with just a ton of people around. I mean, the production offices were already moving to Louisiana and Atlanta. It just cost less. And now it's like a lot of the casting is completely done digitally. You very, very seldom are you going in on your first time with an audition into a room. So
in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you came home, and so now we've kind of caught back up to where we were before the restaurant opened. And so ever since then, so 2020, when did we say the restaurant opened?
I don't know, 2023.
2023. So you're open. You had to close again, though, last year due to a fire. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. A lot of people think that, because it's devastating to go through a fire. I've actually had my house when I was little happen. Like, we lost our house. It's devastating to lose anything, and it's very shocking when it all happens at first. Especially, it's different as a business owner because you feel like a mother in a way. You have 33 employees at that time, and we were going into the holidays, and it was gut-wrenching and heartbreaking to know that, like, these people and their kids, some of them, this was their second job, some of it was their main job. So it really wore on like my mental health too, because it was out of my control, and I always want to be in control and want to try and stay ahead of things. But at that time, it kind of really, it was like the last straw. Like, with being in 2 years of business, you're hitting a pivotal point where it's either going to work or it's not. And I was at a point at that where I had lost a little bit of hope that it would start to get easier. So I remember this very vividly because in October is when it happened, and I was just kind of thinking, I was like, is this the way I want to live all the time? Do I want to be stressed out all the time? Do I want to be, because it wasn't getting easier, and I wasn't really coming to the truths yet of like where I wanted my life to go, and it was so far away from where Roadhouse Resort was at the time. And it wasn't because everything that I created wasn't working. It was that internally the struggle and the survival mode was still there.
Like do or die mode?
Yeah, and it was a little bit personal too. It was like I personally hadn't gotten a break yet, so I couldn't technically help myself first.
Yeah.
So whenever it happened on a Wednesday, and everybody was kind of like, it was about 9 o'clock, and everything was kind of dying down for the night. And I was talking to Brian Strahan, actually, because we were talking about something. Somebody had come up, and they were like, hey, you need to get to the kitchen. I was like, I looked around. There's not a lot of people in there. I'm like, I'll get there in a minute, And then they'd come back, and they said, no, you need to get to the kitchen now. By the time I had gotten back there, an entire piece of equipment was engulfed in flames. So I told everybody to get out of the kitchen. And then I tied my hair up. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but it was just instinct. So I grabbed the fire extinguishers, and I was trying to put it out. And by that time, I didn't know it because it was around me, but it had jumped to the grease, and it had jumped to another piece of equipment. And then it had went up into an electrical box, and I could hear it sparking from behind me. So they had called the fire department and everything, and they were on the way. They got there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But by the time they had gotten there, the roof was like collapsing down. The hood vents, everything, all equipment was
The kitchen.
gone. Yeah,
the kitchen.
complete loss. So, the next few days were kind of coming to terms with that. And I was thinking, you know what? Well, at least I can tell the public, like,
You went
lost
out.
it from a fire. There's, as an owner, there's a little bit of ego in that. And there's a little bit of like, at least it's because of this event, not because I couldn't do it or I couldn't deliver or I was too tired.
Yeah.
My soul was like a little broken at that time because I don't know, I just needed a break, honestly. So I remember standing up at the hotel and my insurance agent called me. He's my cousin, Garrett, actually. And I was standing there and I'm just like looking for more bad news and just trying to like, get it all together. And he calls me and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good." I didn't know what kind of insurance I had. So I was just kind of like, maybe it's covered. I don't know. I just was like, I paid the bills.
Surely I have insurance, right?
I had insurance and it came out every month, but I didn't. I just was a new business owner. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm also the sole owner of all this. So like survival mode was pretty clear of what I was going through in the first 2 years. He's like, "Yeah, man, like, I hate to say this in a terrible time, but like, you're definitely covered." And I was like, "Really? Like what?" He's like, "I mean, any type of coverage, you had it. I mean, you got it. Like you're getting like a brand new kitchen pretty much." And I was like, "Are you like sure of that?" And he's like, "Yeah, not only are you covered with everything in the entire kitchen, but you're covered to, pay some of your employees. You're covered to pay the bills. Pay the note." Yeah, I get chills because I just like, he couldn't hear it. I muted the phone. And I mean, I hit my knees in the parking lot. I'm just like squalling and there's no one there. And I'm like, I just like looked up at God and I was like, "Thank you." I like needed a break.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got one." It was my first break in business. It's like, finally I got one.
Yeah.
There's no more like shoving 2x4s in the truck. And there's no more like, and so I got 3 months to like rebuild Roadhouse.
Breathe a little.
With funds this time and do it the way I wanted to. Take care of my employees, make sure some of them went to go work with other places and stuff. And I got to go home at a reasonable time, get, sleep, go visit my family, just be normal, reset. And then I also got a chance to like rediscover what kind of business owner I want to be, what are my priorities. And then I also figured out that if I don't take care of myself, all of this has nothing to pull from. So my greatest priority now is myself and my, who I am and what I stand for. Because if you don't feed that, this has nothing to feed off of. And it's very clear when that happens. So anytime I start to feel like, hey, I'm overwhelmed or something's happening, I'm way more likely to pull back. And I'm like,
you're way more grounded. Boundaries are there.
Everything's set now.
It's like you got a total factory reset.
Yeah.
Is that how it feels?
Well, and like there's nothing else. I'm very spiritual, so there's like nothing else I can explain that would happen to any young business owner that they would get a second break like that except for God. So I was like, "Thank you. I will do anything you want me to do. I'll keep living your word." And I'm just like, "Thank you." Like, because I got a second chance. And a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah. So you completely renovated the kitchen, the full kitchen exactly how you want it.
Did the bar area the way I wanted.
It's called the Double Deuce, that bar area. Yep.
And that's where you have live music. There's a bathroom in there now. So that was a big deal. And then got to finish a lot of things at the hotel. Got to do little things like I always wanted to have the nozzles on the doors. And now we have these sinks where the nozzles go into them and there's tires. I wanted to do all of that. I just didn't have time. So,
or the resources probably.
Yeah. And I got to do my 2 main doors that I wanted. All those things mean more to me than, touching up paint and doing all these different things because it's like the soul of the place. So I got to finish all that and then reopen the way I wanted to.
It's so neat.
Yeah.
So now you're back. You opened at the beginning of the year? February? January?
February, yeah.
And ever since then, it's just been business as usual.
Wide open.
Yeah. So it's very busy there all the time.
triple what we were doing before.
Oh my gosh. You just can't make this stuff up.
You can't. You really can't.
And I will say this too. You're fostering an environment that's easy for people to want to go be in. Live music. You're doing events. You do events, car shows, different things like that, right?
And we came back with all of our staff except for one.
Yeah. So you're a great place to be employed. And people just love it there. I have friends now. I can't I can't get up there a lot because I have kids
You've
there in sports.
Yeah.
So much going on. But I
Yeah.
have friends that leave the ballpark and go to Roadhouse multiple times a week.
Yeah.
It's really just like a home, a separation of their house for those friends. But it's an environment that people want to be in.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that important to you? It
yeah,
seems
that's like the biggest thing that you can do as a business owner is like create something that people feel not only comfortable enough, but like they're making so many memories there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's created something that's bigger than me, bigger than Roadhouse. It's like their like
their
you said,
spot.
second home. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like the coolest thing you can hear as a business owner, especially having employees want to stay there. And we've had employees come back to us, have different experiences where they are, they'll come back. That's another big thing for us. We're just a place where I feel comfortable being there. Everybody else does.
You want to be there.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of business owners, Petal's not really this way. I feel like if I walk into a business on a Monday through a Friday, there's a good chance I'm going to see the owner in Petal.
Yeah.
But it's not that way everywhere.
No.
But you work.
Yeah.
Except share about what do you do at Roadhouse?
I like to work a lot.
I think you can cook, right? You can host anything.
Yeah. I mean, you could be the jack of all. Now, do I want to?
Cook
Not
hamburgers?
so much anymore. But sometimes I'll have a really big day, and it's hard in business. And then sometimes, honestly, you want to go to the grill because it's just real simple. I can do that, and it's going to come out this way, and I know it will. I'm like, great. There's one successful thing out of the day. Like if you've had a bad day, sometimes it's like really cool to just go do something like that. Like
that you can win at.
Yeah, and it's nice to go just like get lost in conversation and double deuce with somebody, or go see somebody and ask them, oh, have you been here today? And just talk to them about the menu.
Yeah.
I think in life we've gotten so busy with social media, AI, and everything's just gotten so backwards. It's nice to just like turn on an actual stereo and like sit there and stare at someone and
have
touch
a
grass.
conversation.
All of it's gotten so out of hand that I want Roadhouse to be and stay a place where you're kind of forced to go back in a way. There's car parts on the wall. It's just very.
That's another thing I want to hit on. The business hoods on the wall. So what is that about?
Well,
I love the ingenuity with this, so that's why I want you to share it. I already know. I want you to share it with them.
Well, I didn't. My first year in business, I didn't know how slow summer was. So I was like, okay, well, I need to find a way to come up with this amount. That's when you're early trying to make it in business. Like
You were
there's always an amount.
fundraising. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like trying to come up with a way, and I was like, but also I needed to put things on the wall. It was really bare in there. I worked for a restaurant in New York, and it was called 21 Club. It's closed now. They didn't make it through COVID, but they had these business owners, and they would make toys for them, or the business owners would, bring them toys and have their business on it, and they'd hang them from the walls. But you could only do that if you were like a really big regular there. But it was like the CEO of, there was Chevron, there was like huge businesses there that they would have toys on the wall. And so I was like, I wonder if I can do like a car hood, but like with the business owner's thing on that. And I was like, well, this is going to be a hard sell. And then I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to be so like, it's going to happen. I can do it. So
delusion. There's that delusion again.
Yeah. So I go to I know they thought I was on some kind of drug, the auto shop down the road.
I'm dead.
They probably had to, because I was like, no, I need, 20 hoods. And they're like, for what? And I'm like, so it's hard. I'm going to put it on the wall. And they're like, okay. And the business beside them knew I was probably crazy after I went and asked for alternators I was going to make lights out of. So they're like, this girl. So I got 20 hoods. And then these business owners, it actually was like, and they were like, yes, absolutely, I want to do that. And I was like, okay. So I got their logo, and I found a guy in Petal here who does phenomenal wraps. And I was like, well, that worked out. And then we hung them up on the wall, and everybody was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I was like, yeah, that worked out. So they pay anywhere. It's roughly like, depending on the location and where it's at and how big the hood is, it's anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 for the hood for the year. And I did 20 of them at the time. And so that was, they re-up it every year, and that floats in case the business is ever slow or
You're
something
down
happens
months
for June and July people that are going, on vacation and stuff.
Wow. Those J months. Those J months in January. I don't know if you're slow in January.
January's massive for us.
Wow.
So that one doesn't count. But June and July, yes.
That's so smart. So smart. And it goes along with the theme of the restaurant. It solved your problem of getting decor on the walls. And it's just...
Well, it's on brand with Roadhouse, which is like we're very big about circling back on local businesses. So all of those people that are on the wall in there, I work with them. I work with them or they're, at the restaurant all the time.
Regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really big for me too.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, listen, let's get to the menu at Roadhouse. Share with us kind of what to expect on the menu. What are some of the highlights of the menu? Do you have any seasonal things going on? What's going on at Roadhouse right now?
Well, our specials are really big at Roadhouse, which all the restaurants I've worked at before, that's never really been a thing. But every week we sell out of our specials. So something new is coming up. Max is our chef, and he's exceptional at that.
Every week there's a special.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like this week there's shrimp tacos. We are going to try and bring oysters soon, which were always a big hit.
Yes.
Charcoal oysters are always great. And then as far as the menu goes, our steaks have just been selling like crazy.
Wow.
People don't know this, but we did come back with a different cut and we've been seasoning them a little bit differently, and we have a new house sauce. And we added 4 more steaks. So
it's a different steak menu.
It's a whole different menu than what it was before. Okay. So the steaks have been selling it's just insane. We've done wonderful with that. The filet is phenomenal. We get our filet from 601 Meats. Mm-hmm. So all of that has really amplified the menu as far as offering more red meats. But other than that, the red fish is killer. The barbecue pork shank is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Jessie's bread pudding is good.
Do you make a bread pudding?
Yeah, that actually come from that. I wish I could claim that recipe, but that's Miss Gandy's old recipe from Ronaldstown First Baptist Church. Oh. She was an incredible cook. And whenever I'd get off the bus from Ronaldstown, I'd stop at her house. She'd teach me some recipes. So you
kept it. She gave you the recipe, and now it's on the menu at Roadhouse. I love all of those little nostalgic things that you've got going on, girl.
Yeah, I wish it was mine, but that's one of the best recipes I've ever had. So that's hers, but I do keep it alive for her.
Yeah. Is she still living?
She's not. She passed away.
So she's still alive through
Well, she didn't have any grandchildren or anything, and she told me, she was like,
oh, wow.
Uh-huh. So she said, if you give out this recipe, I'm going to come back and haunt you. I was like, okay, got it.
Don't give it away. Feed everyone the bread pudding, but don't give it away. And so every week there's a special. Really, it kind of covers that you can get a burger, you can get chicken, you can get steak.
It's well-rounded, the menu for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of gluten-free options too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
Yeah. Yeah, the barbecue pork shank is on Gouda grits. It's smoked Gouda grits. And there's other things, there's a lot of options for that.
And a bar. You have the double deuce, which is a full
menu,
full open bar. Mm-hmm. Not open bar.
Yeah, Lord. No open bar.
It is not an open bar, people.
Yeah. And then we have the hotel behind it, which is a boutique style 20-room hotel, which has been wrapped up since we've been reopened. We have a wedding next weekend. We do a lot of corporate contracts now, which is we have companies that we work with that do, they'll have 3 or 4 rooms of guys up at the hotel. Then they'll have another account with the restaurant, and so that's great.
Like line workers and like contract workers that are in
Georgia
town.
Pacific.
Briefly.
Yeah. So a lot of the guys with hoods have corporate accounts. So
that's great.
And I have the RV park behind that. So
I didn't realize that.
Yep. I have a 28 spot RV park behind that, and then I have 6 units of duplexes behind that.
Yeah. And so the hotel is staffed, and then the restaurant's staffed, and they're 2 separate businesses.
Yes.
Right? So you can stay at the hotel, go eat at the restaurant, and vice versa.
So yeah, I have a business that owns all of the real estate, and then I have Roadhouse Restaurant LLC that rents from the building from that, but I'm the owner of all of it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Something recently happened. I want to hit on it really quick just so we can cackle about it, because I understood the lore. Clearly, lots of others understood the lore, but I don't think you did. Gypsy Rose came to Roadhouse, and I don't even know if our listeners are going to know who the heck she is, but I want to talk about it because I think...
It seems like everybody knows who she is, except me, which I know a lot of people are like, you know who she is. You know what? I was like, no, man. I'm like, I'm at work all the time. Like my mind is not on Gypsy Rose. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, ever since then, has she been on my social media everywhere?
Oh, now you know her whole life story.
I can't get rid of her. And I even tried to type in like her name and block it. And it's not because it's whatever. I'm like so over it, but I guess I'm part of it now. I don't know.
So she just came into the restaurant to eat. I think, from my understanding, her sister was getting engaged or something.
Like
she was
that.
passing through. It was good food, man.
Mm-hmm. So I think her sister got engaged and then they came there to celebrate or something like that. Yeah.
And she is famous. I mean, regardless of your opinion on her, she's famous. You know, she came into a Petal restaurant and we got a picture with her, and then you woke up to 1 million.
So that was on a Saturday night, and Sundays are really big for me because I'm like offline. You can't get
no
me.
access.
Yeah, so about 5:30 a.m. I woke up to about, I think it was 758 notifications on my phone, and my work phone was dead because it was done, I guess, ringing through the night. So I was like, what is going on? And then so I woke up and I'm like, these people from out of state had tanked our Google page, Yelp page, and Facebook.
That you cannot change that either.
No, there was a lot of things that I've learned through that process, which is Google was really big about opening a case, and they basically shut down anybody even being able to leave a review for like 2 weeks after that. Just, I guess, let it die down, and then they took off I think that they can track like the IP address and stuff and handle that. Yelp did the same thing. Facebook now, I've reached out many times.
You cannot access Facebook.
I don't know what's going on with that, but like anytime you have a problem, it's just you can't really get a hold of anybody or anything. So they had gone through there, and we were pretty much like, I think it was about, before all this happened, about 93 to 94% recommended as a restaurant on Facebook. And our Facebook is huge for us. So we have 14,000 followers on that, which is I'm very proud of because I'm not going to mention other stats, but they're pretty good. I'm like really on up there.
Yeah,
it's like one of my pride and joys is my
That's great.
social media. So whenever that happened, it was like, oh my gosh, I was trying to figure out a way to do that. And I was like, I couldn't shut it off. I could shut off the reviews there. So I kind of just let it ice over for a second. And then I was like, let me go watch this episode of her and figure out what this is. This is my understanding of her when this happened. She comes into the restaurant. They say that's Gypsy Rose. I look at her. She looks familiar. She looks like someone I've seen on TikTok doing a dance or something. And then I looked on my TikTok and I saw that briefly, and I'm reminded of the story, she has, ended the life of her mother, either indirectly involved or whatever. I don't know that full story. But it seemed like the story of her mom was keeping her. She wasn't really sick and she was profiting money off of her. That's what I know. I was like, oh, so whatever. She's had a hard life, it seems like, and she's well known. She came out here to eat with her family. Her child was there and she was just as cute as she could be. And that's what I know. So, yeah, I did repost it at that point. And we said Gypsy Rose was here. Now, what progressed from that is kind of odd to me because I feel like people are so quick to cancel things that they don't really understand the magnitude to, which is really scary for a world that we live in today because you are trying to cancel something that is actively employing 33 people. And those 33 people have children.
Besides that, your livelihood is all your chips are in.
Well, I mean, at this point, I've been through so much with this place. I'm like, well, take me to the trenches again.
What's another thing?
Yeah, whatever. I'll take another hit. But for them, no, because they just got this job back after taking 3 months off, trying to figure out ends meets to the holidays. And I'm like, what you're not going to do is cancel my business and affect these employees are my everything. They're my team. And like they were threatening my employee in the photo. They were threatening protests, which I'm
Why?
like, but it's crazy the part to go back to the cancel culture. Because I'm like, so you're going to cancel a business over something that you don't agree with. You're going to just do away with them, do away with the whole thing just because you don't agree with it. I really miss the place of a country and community that we used to be in where you could have a conversation and disagree with someone and that be it. Canceling them as a person for what they've done and what they've stood for in the community over a photo is diabolical to me.
I'll also say this, though. We need to say this. This was mostly people that do not even live here.
Yes, and then some of them were.
Yeah. I remember
Most of them, I would say probably like 70 to 75% of them were from out of state. Had never even been
totally
to a
random
restaurant.
people.
Yeah. And then some of them were making it very religious, the situation. I'm very religious.
We take everything to the extremes, or I do not
really
understand.
Is. So it was a lot to wake up to that, and it was a lot to kind of process the next few days. And then so I was kind of a little bit negative about it because I was like, that's so unfair to do that. Now, the next end of the week, I made a post and I said, hey guys, listen, this is who we are. This is what we stand for. We're gonna take the L on that. We should have done our research before we reposted it. There, you got us. Hands up.
Go give us a good Google review.
Yeah. And
Please.
so that went more viral, or I would say it had more positive feedback than the other post.
Great.
And that restored my, faith in humanity, that there are a lot more people in life that want to see you do good than the ones that want to see you do bad. I just feel like the ones that want to see you do bad are more sitting behind their keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they live.
They are.
So whenever you're having a process or trying to have something with social media, I try and take it with a grain of salt nowadays and just say whatever, because the more you feed into it, the more it will deeply affect you, and it's just not real. It really isn't. Mm-mm. There's a form of that online, and it can help your business a lot, but it can also destroy everything that's great about you and what makes you special.
And your mental health.
All of it. So just take it with a grain of salt and just move on. So that's what I did with this. And then business moved on as regular. We just went back to normal. But it was a big learning curve just to be kind of like, hey, we understand that's not great. And you guys had a very strong feeling about her, but it is what it is. Life goes on.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. And I don't know, what do they say in showbiz? All publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, we got 3,000 followers.
Well, there you go. Yeah. There's a win in every situation.
Are they followers we want? I don't know. But,
who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But hey, that count still went up.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to round it out with a game. It's called Rapid Fire. It's open-ended. The goal is just to answer as fast as you can.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You sure? Lock in. Favorite menu item at Roadhouse?
Filet.
Okay. Kristen Miller, I hope you heard that. 601 Meets and More. Favorite live music memory at Roadhouse?
Favorite live music? I just have to say this. It was Matt McGuffey and Jacob Arnold playing, and this father was having his first dance with this little girl that she could first walk, and I just vividly remember it because they were playing some sad country song, and I was like, oh my gosh,
that is the best. She was walking for the first time?
She was she had just started walking, and he was trying to dance with her, and then he picked her up, and he put his cowboy hat on her, and they were dancing. I have the photo still.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
All right, favorite event that you've hosted?
First, that would be my
favorite
event. Car show. It'd be a car show, but it'd be the first one.
The very first one.
Yeah, because it just was a crazy turnout. There was 100 and something cars, and
jeez,
you just couldn't park anywhere. It was awesome.
You'd do it again.
Yeah.
You should do Jeeps.
I have done Jeeps. They're great. They're fun.
Most underrated menu item?
Oh, the tuna.
The tuna steak?
But you have to order it Jessie style. They're going to hate me for this. But it's Jessie style, and it's it's almost on the rare part, but they cut it up and they put it over the broccoli with sesame seeds. It's different than the regular way, but they're going to kill me that I just said that because we're going to order it now.
I am.
It's so good.
And I will blame you.
And it's
all
healthy.
Right. Favorite thing about owning Roadhouse?
Favorite thing
about owning it?
I guess the challenge. I mean, it keeps me fired up constantly. I can never.
Always stimulated.
There's something there all the time. It's
all the time.
I'm putting out fires constantly.
One word that describes Roadhouse.
Electric.
Oh, I like it. One word that describes Petal.
Petal. I'd have to say, almost I don't know why motherly came to my mind, but motherly, Paula Deen. I just feel it's a very
homey.
Huh? Homey, but just soft spot, a very comfortable place. I don't mean that in a...
No. I understand what you're saying.
Home.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are very hard today. Yeah.
Words are hard sometimes.
I need more gas station coffee.
If a first-time guest visits Roadhouse tonight, what should they order?
they should order the filet or the ribeye. And definitely,
You're a red meat girl, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm just raised by Scott Carter, so
I love red meat too.
the filet or the ribeye for sure.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to get that next time I come.
Have you not gotten that before?
I don't think so.
Yeah. We're gonna bring you there next, and we're gonna get you on camera just trying a bunch of food.
I'll come today if you'll feed me. If you'll feed me, I'll be there in 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
I've
for having
enjoyed
me.
this so much.
Thank you.